Hi, I'm Susan Carew and I'm here at the Vipassana Centre just south of Perth, where we've been learning about a very ancient technique that was created by Buddha. And in essence, it's really about breathing, learning to breathe naturally. There's no ritual around it. It's really about feeling the sensation in the body. And I'm joined here with a group of people who've just been through a 10-day Vipassana course, and we're just going to find out what they think. So I'll just pass this over. Thank you. All right, hello everybody.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi. Good.
You sound really, are you all very peaceful? Is that why?
Yeah, too peaceful for us.
Too peace? Do you think you can have too much peace?
We just started talking after 10 days, so we're really not peaceful. We're just shy of the camera.
Do you find it shy of the camera? I'll just zoom in for you just for a second. This is very, you've got to overcome aversion. And,
No,
you
the
know.
course is really great. We didn't speak for 10 days, which just meant that we spoke to ourselves quite a lot. And it was a great meditation technique. I'll remember this for the rest of my life.
What made you decide to come to Vipassana?
My parents did it 7 years back, and since then I've been wanting to do it, but I never really gathered the guts to do it. Finally did it. And
Yep.
I'm really glad.
And how did you find the experience overall?
Just amazing.
Yeah,
It's now that my life begins.
terrific. That's fantastic. Okay, who we've got here?
Hi.
And what's your name? Or don't you have one now?
I wish my family's watching this.
We can send them the link.
And I've graduated from a 10-day Vipassana course, and it changed my life completely. The way how my mind and body work together now. I really was able to find peace, and this is the beginning of a lifetime journey that's full of peace, and hopefully I'll be able to continue and finding answers and understanding to how to live peaceful and happy life.
Now, this being a 10-day Vipassana course means that people aren't to speak to one another for 10 days, and they have to meditate for at least up to 11 hours per day.
Yeah.
Unless they take some breaks and sleep through lunch and what have you, if you did. I got up late. I confess it. How did you find the actual sitting for such long periods?
Well, sitting was a bit of a problem in the beginning, but as I tried to recall my life, it was like the pain is almost similar, and I've been practicing noble silence in my own room.
Yeah.
Because I was so miserable, I didn't want to talk to anyone. But it was great. It was I was peaceful and calm, and so it made the whole experience very well bearable on my part.
And of course, just to sort of clarify for people, you know, even though you're joking there about being silent because you felt very sad, the noble silence itself is actually people all choosing to remain silent for a period of time so they can hear themselves, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it gave me a chance to observe other people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes I see how miserable people are during, their days, and I was like, how was I thinking that that's how miserable I was my whole life?
Yeah, right.
But I find the experience really very amazing and interesting.
Yep. Terrific. Thank you.
You were cheating. You were supposed to be concentrating on yourself.
No, she was expanding her awareness. Come on.
Joking. I was just joking.
Oh, joking. Can you introduce yourself first?
Yes, my name is Evelina. My presence here, I think, is proof itself the Dharma works.
We have a testimonial.
It's totally random and accidental. I just met a girl when I was in Laos, heard about Vipassana, which was a few months ago, randomly decided to maybe do it, and here I am. And I think it's probably the beginning of a long but rewarding path. And it's been a struggle. I wouldn't say that it was easy, not at all. I'm still in a lot of confusion and a lot of doubt, but at the same time I feel like I've accomplished a lot and I achieved a lot, and I'm going to take a lot with me from it.
We're here to guide you now. Sorry, we're here to guide you.
Thank you.
Have you done meditation before?
Never, nothing before.
And how did you find that process of sitting? Because most people would think, how can anyone sit for up to 11 hours a day over a
Difficult,
10-day period?
Without moving.
Without
Without
moving, yes.
When they first introduced the idea
Yep,
of an hour which is called strong determination,
yep.
I freaked out. I thought it's impossible. I went to our teacher.
Is that because you don't have strong determination?
No, I don't believe so. No, it's because for the first 5 days there wasn't probably a period longer than 20 minutes that I could sit
Yes.
without changing a posture and
Yeah.
with having my back straight. So immediately I just went to the teacher and asked whether I should try out the backrest.
Yep.
And he just, in a very nice way, let me understand that maybe I should just persevere.
Oh.
So I took that hand, took it with me, and miracle happened next day. I just tried in the posture and it worked, and I sat down for the whole hour, and I'm proud to say that I haven't moved for all the 5 days during all the
Wow.
hours of strong determination.
Well, so did you feel a cord of light, illuminate your whole being or anything over this period? That's a miracle, really. That's awesome.
Really good.
Yeah, there've been glimmers of light, and I don't think I've got rid of all of my solidified parts, but
So what you mean by solidified parts, if you could explain that?
So the technique works that way that we start feeling our sensations,
Yes.
and we start feeling pleasant and unpleasant sensations, and unpleasant sensations are the ones referred to as solidified parts, which manifesting itself in normally pain or some sort of what we would define unpleasant. And
Yes.
the secret of the working of the technique is not to react to it as we would normally do. That would be the normal pattern of habit. So what you should do instead is stay sort of calm and balanced and just observe it and allow it to dissolve and go away.
Yes, so that idea of observation is where it dissolves, whereas most people get into that cycle of reaction
Exactly.
and they keep things going.
They keep
Now that-
harming themselves.
Yep. Thank you for that. That was fantastic. Thank you. All right, next customer. Oh, no, are you a customer? I don't know. What?
Yeah.
Visitor?
She's an old student.
Pardon?
And
Oh,
also
Yes, my,
How
my-
old are you? No, you don't have to say. I'm just joking. There are no old students. We're all mature. Come on.
yes.
Can you introduce yourself firstly?
My name is Kate, and this is the third course I've sat. I've also served a course,
Yes.
but none of the previous courses really gelled.
Right.
They did a little bit. They did affect my life in a positive way, but somehow this time I feel like it's sunk in. Why I chose this course, I was quite miserable for the past couple months with various types of cravings that I indulged in. Also things that I was aversion and craving were words that you hear a lot here, as well as the equanimous mind.
What does the equanimous mind mean?
Equanimous mind. How many times have you ever heard that word before?
I know, but all the thousands of YouTube listeners haven't.
Equanimous,
That's why you probably should say it correctly.
balanced, peaceful, non-reaction. So Vipassana is basically awareness of what's happening to you in your body and not reacting.
And purity of mind, isn't
to
it?
Yes,
Yeah.
and that achieves purity of mind. And
Yeah.
there's this thing called sankhara. Whenever I felt pain, so you're sitting there with your eyes closed in a room with 60 other people approximately, not moving, and you feel these unpleasant sensations. For me, it was pain in my back.
Right.
And I just envisioned these little bubbles popping up, and I would go, there goes one sankhara, there goes another
Wow.
one, it's gone. And the cravings
Wow.
or aversions come up from inside of your mind and leave if you cannot react. And the one strange thing that happened to me was that I, unlike you, had a big struggle sitting. And one time I finally managed to actually hear the gong, and I could then, until today, it was strange. Today, for some reason, I could sit all 3 hours with no problem without trying to look at my watch, and I think it was the craving to sit without moving was gone. Something snapped inside of me, and for the first time I was able just to sit. I could have sat forever, I felt like.
So you were in a state of peace then?
Today,
Correct?
yeah,
Yes.
it took a while to get there.
But that just shows you why it's 10 days, is to
Yeah.
bring us to that point. It's fascinating, isn't it?
It is fascinating. And one more fascinating thing to me was that my sense of smell has suddenly come into full force.
What are you noticing in
Deodorant,
respect?
everyone.
Deodorant.
No, but I smelled the
Farting?
the
What-
trees.
Sorry.
There will be farting.
No farting in here, okay?
So you're sleeping.
Yes, aromas. You smell aromas.
Yeah, just from the nature mostly.
Were
from
these
the trees.
smells you'd not smelt before,
No.
or right?
I haven't smelled them before.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's because she's a foreigner and she hasn't been in the bush.
Is that a fact? Thank you
And
for
also,
your.
I'd like to
Oh, while we're here.
also say that it was really interesting seeing all the wildlife and nature
Yeah.
come out
Yeah.
in the last 2 days of, and it's as if they knew what was happening and they could feel the energy, So that's proof as well.
It's a very special energetic space too, isn't it?
Mm.
Those amazing rocks. There,
Yeah.
maybe millions
And
of
amazing
millions.
lizards.
Yes, the double-headed ones.
God, really?
The one that licked my foot.
And made me scream twice.
What you were, yeah. It thought I was a giant lentil.
I saw it, I was
Well,
like,
and I also learned something really important, and it's not just being in the room that you are practicing. Because I fell out of my bed one night.
I thought I heard someone.
Yeah, hurt myself quite a lot as well.
Oh wow!
And so I had to be very equanimous with my pain
Like not scream.
and observe it and not react
Right.
to my stupidity of falling out of my bed and being in agonising pain. So I felt that was quite a good lesson as well. So
Well,
I
thank
share
that's
that.
really wonderful, and that just shows you life sends little tests, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for that. Okay. Can you introduce yourself, even though I'll probably come back to you?
Yeah, so
I'm
my
gonna
name's
take a
Amy.
shower now.
You know who you are now.
I do. Thank you.
You're no longer a no-name brand
She was
walking
Christina,
around.
But apparently
I'm Amy. There's a couple of us. That's all right. Crazy cat lady as well.
You're the crazy cat lady.
Crazy cat lady.
I'm staying with her in Brisbane. I'm
You
excited.
are?
Oh, are you? Crazy cat lady too.
The house of love.
The House of Love. That sounds good.
Yeah.
So, what was your experience?
It's been amazing.
Mhm.
I already in my life, I guess I wouldn't call myself a Buddhist, but I certainly from a young age have followed a lot of ideals out of Buddhism and Hinduism, because at a young age I developed a very unusual psychosomatic pain condition that I've already spoken to a few people in this room about. To the Western world, I'm a walking medical miracle.
Are
Because
you?
the Western
Oh,
world couldn't help me. I had a very unusual pain in my bladder.
right.
Extreme pain.
Wow.
To the point where
Oh.
I had to go on a 10-day course in hospital to deal with pain. And I was desperate to get out of this pain. I saw so many specialists, had so many drugs. No one could help me. So many people said, "I'm sorry, Amy, we can't help you." So the Western world of medicine failed me. But within 3 months of acupuncture and energy healing, it actually cleared. And so from a young age, I kind of realised, the path. I guess the reason why I've come to Vipassana, this course, is to further my knowledge about, I guess, the nature of aversion and craving.
Just explain what aversion means for those who don't know.
Aversion.
And
So I
craving.
guess, something happens to you that you don't want it to happen to you. Or for example, a pain comes in the body, you really don't want that. Like my bladder pain, I don't want this bladder pain, and it heightens the pain. So you have physical pain, but then you also have the mental pain that goes with that pain. So it heightens the pain and makes it much worse. So you're quite averse to that. And I guess craving is, for example, the food here has been great, but on a
Yes.
few occasions for you guys, I'm like, no, I really want pancakes with lemon sugar.
And you're
Jerry
not
had this
pregnant at the moment?
I'm sure it's
Oh,
not the little
well,
baby
we'll have a look.
I hope not, not that I know of.
I'm kidding.
So, she's gone. But I think not just about sitting and having the sankharas coming out, which I certainly have had that happen to me.
Reactions.
No sankharas actually coming out of the body.
Yeah.
Yeah, meaning
Reaction,
reactions.
sorry,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's also in my actual practice. I managed to get what I called my Jedi warrior skills, where I could zing my body, right, and even having fun. I think Amy also mentioned, or someone mentioned, playing with energy from one palm to the other, like I was juggling. I was even going to that
Wow.
point where I was juggling. I'm like, this is kind of cool. But then
You can join me.
but then it stopped. I wanted to come back again, and for a whole day I couldn't get that sensation back. And I sat in the rock area, and I saw these beautiful birds, and I love watching birds. But they flew away. I'm like, oh, my hat, Amy. It's all about craving. You have to stop. You have to be in the present moment. So it's about the now. It's about the present. And then they actually flew back again. About 10 minutes later, I got to see them again.
Wow.
And that was a really important message and lesson for me.
So really staying in the present moment is one of the keys here, isn't it?
That's number one, I think.
What happens when we're in the present moment?
You live life, you feel. When you eat food, you can taste it properly. When you talk to people, you don't think about what you're going to be doing next. You're actually connecting with them on a soul level, which is, I think, what we're here for.
Yes, and that idea of reality is happening now.
Yeah, definitely.
But at the same time, what's very important in Vipassana, the message of it was that it's very important to understand that everything comes to an end, which is what enables you to actually
Anicca.
to actually appreciate that present moment.
And that anicca is impermanence, isn't it? So yes, we're all here temporarily, and it's interesting when you think about how most people are living their lives. Most people are living in the future or the past. They're not
I
actually
also
living.
find it interesting how all of us have connections somehow with each other,
Yes.
It's interesting.
Trust me, we were on the football team in the last life. Same football team.
And Goenka, the is that the correct?
Yeah.
Not sure. Yeah. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? This is the teacher who comes out of Burma.
Yeah.
He was talking about people coming at the right time. I felt definitely a calling, and I was in India only 3 months ago and met a Vipassana teacher. Like, he was 10 years into Vipassana. And I actually didn't come to Vipassana because of him, although he mentioned it. It just popped into my mind only probably 4 weeks ago, and I went looking.
I guess we are the lucky ones.
Or a different.
He's got a different guru teacher, and I have to say that on the website they have deified him. They've got the guru he's following. On the website they've made him look more they've made halo taking place over his head. So he looks like a bit of a god. Do you want to interview me?
Yeah, let us interview you. So what was your experience like? Looking beautiful.
Ladies, we have 1 minute left to
Am I
lights up.
glowing?
Yes, you are.
Oh, that's just look at the clock. It's just my
Okay, so
My experience was
Panning here, huh?
first of all, what do you do? That's the most interesting
That's a
part.
loaded question. I'm a clown. And can you shut a clown up for 10 days? I think that was the miracle.
Yeah.
Given that my voice is used quite a lot.
Yeah.
But I did wonder how I would go over 10 days. I found it. I was also concerned actually about sitting because I'm not a meditator. So this is for those out there who are not meditators. You can do this. It does come at the right time. You have to be in the right space to be able to sit for 10 days and actually reflect inwardly and allow those thoughts to come up. So for me, some stuff did come up just a little bit. I felt that I've processed a lot already. And I felt incredible peace. I actually had some wonderful moments of great peace. And I also had illumination with my own work, which is a peace education to take it around the world. So this inspired me because Vipassana, the whole setup here is a centre. People come to this place and they go through this technique and they find inner peace. And in order to create peace in the world, we have to be at peace ourselves. There's a lot of, in my view, false teachings in our society where we're taught that we must achieve, make money, have loads of possessions. I've left all my possessions. I actually gave most of my stuff away when I went around the world. What I'm learning is that I have the abundance already within me. I am in a state, I would say 99% of the time, of joy. So you don't need all the things we're told we have to have, like a partner, in order to be seen to be loved, to have money, to be seen to be successful. I believe we're going through a paradigm shift where the old paradigm was one of materialism and success through objects and egoic consciousness. Eckhart Tolle would be a very good source for people. The Power of Now. I think we're seeing a powerful shift around the world to universal values and to tapping into our true self. So it's not about you following anyone, it's about you knowing yourself. To thine own self be true, I think, is a fundamental foundation to Vipassana. Because when you're stuck with yourself for 10 days and you have no input, you can't even make eye contact with anyone. You have to you have to hear yourself. And what I feel is fundamentally going wrong in our world is people can't hear themselves. They've got all the stimuli coming. They've got parents telling them to be this, husbands or wives telling them to be that. They've got employers pushing them to work hard, and you'll get to this. What I've discovered is to actually discard. We're going to be discarding a lot of this as we return to our own truth. We have to, because the planet itself is under great pressure. So I feel Vipassana is the way of the future.
Definitely. Yeah, me
Go
too.
Vipassana.
Yeah.
Did you want to say a few words as well?
I don't mind.
I'll just
Yeah. What's your name, little girl? Coming up the street. Can you come in a bit closer so we can get a close up of your pimples? That'd be lovely. Not that you care, because you're not in that state of mind anymore, are you? And you're glowing, I notice.
Oh, I guess, yeah. She's pregnant.
Well, that's a miraculous conception,
Passionate
then.
glow. Passionate glow.
Oh, the Vipassana glow. We've all got that, I think. Well, maybe it's just bloody hot in here. Anyway.
Sunburnt.
So my name's Amy.
Yes.
And-
And your number is. Just kidding.
And I guess my experience.
I saw a light then. Sorry. I saw the light. Or was it just a bloody camera? I think it's a camera.
No, it wasn't. Delighted.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, that's all
We're
good.
not being very peaceful.
No,
Right?
it's all
Go
good.
ahead.
But I feel like I've had quite an intense experience here, to be honest.
Yes.
I've been living my life recently questioning the universe, as you do a lot, and life, and what I'm doing, where I'm going. But I had a time a couple of months ago. I got the shingles. I got really sick, and I had a lot of time off work. And I realised what was going on, why I got sick, was because I was living in that mentality of, I need to do this to get happy. I need all these outside things to make me happy. So I was like using the law of attraction and things like that to pull these situations into my life, and then finding that it still wasn't. I was getting more depressed, if anything,
Yeah.
because these situations weren't in line with my expectations of what I thought my life should be like, and what was happiness to me.
Yeah.
But when I was sick, I had a couple of days where I was at a friend's house, and she had a really lovely garden, and I was just out meditating in her garden, and I kind of had like this moment of separation. It was like a separation of my mind and ego, and I kind of felt like I had just discovered 2 limbs of my body that I didn't know I had.
Wow.
And it was like, yeah, just being able to witness the mind. And I guess that's what you do a lot here, is you witness your mind and it working, and it's saying things at you. And for a long time, I think in our lives we think that that's us, that's our thoughts, you know. But when you're here, like you've got all this time to hear what it's really saying, and it can say the most weirdest, distorted things, and that's not you. It's just the crazy mind. And I think when you recognise that, you see that, you know, it's okay. It's going to be like, things are going to be all right, and that you can stop that, and then once you realise that, I think you can take responsibility and take control and tame it, and tame the mind and calm it down, and then you find much more peace, I think, that way.
Yes.
Yeah, rather than just kind of trying to battle it, like battle this crazy thing.
And I think a lot of people would really sort of relate to that feeling of getting overwhelmed too by their thoughts.
Definitely, yeah.
Yes.
Because the mind just goes off on complete tangents, and when you don't recognise that that's not you,
It's unconscious, isn't it, in a lot of ways?
Yeah, it's just overwhelming, and then that in turn swarms our body with negativity, and that's what causes disease and illness, is just all those
Misery.
negative thoughts going into ourselves as negative
molecules and
Yeah.
and that's why clowns get work. People need to smile.
Stick.
So thanks for that. No, I'm kidding. No, thank you very much. And everybody, I just want to say very quickly, thank you. Or did you want to say anything? No? Thank you very much for your time and your courage. Not just on going on YouTube, but I felt the 10-day was incredibly strong. You know, people actually did this.
Yeah.
And it's so wonderful to see people dedicated to peace in this way, in such a beautiful way.
Yeah.
So thank you all very much. Bye bye.
Everyone should do that. You're bound to be successful.
Bound
to be successful.
Now, do you want to sing a chant? Anicca means change. There you go, kids. You can't control life.